When you think about karma, you probably think about something really scary, dark, maybe punishment, where souls come to earth and they stay in the reincarnation loop, lifetime after lifetime, living in hell. And there is some truth into that, but don't worry, I'm here to reassure you that the core truth could not be farther from this concept. I am a spiritual and business coach and intuitive channel, and I'm here to help you understand spirituality in the easiest way and support you in your healing journeys to live your life purpose. So before we start, I want you to focus 1 second on what you feel when you think about karma. What comes to you? Because that is probably the definition that you have about this. And if you feel a bit scared, blocked, and something that doesn't feel right, that's probably because you have built definitions about karma that comes from fear-based beliefs. So once that you understand how you feel about the topic, I suggest you to let go of every definition that you have and just be open to receive this information, not with your mind, but with your soul. Let the information that I'm providing get into your heart. Let your soul receive this, because your soul knows the truth. When we try to understand spiritual concepts with our mind, the mind filters that information with the limiting beliefs that you currently have about that information. Therefore, it doesn't really allow you to see the truth because it wants to reaffirm the belief that you have. So why I'm saying use your heart to feel it, because your soul listens to that and you will absorb that information. So what is karma really? The way I see it is simply a feedback of the universe according to an action or a choice that you have taken somewhere along the line. Doesn't matter when, in your eternal life. We are eternal beings, therefore we have different lives. And how do you see this feedback? It's simply the mirror of the external reality in which you live in. Because your external reality is simply a mirror of everything that is within your consciousness. Let's do a super easy example. Let's take relationships, right? Relationships are the perfect mirror. You may say, oh, every person I'm with, I always feel not valued, not seen, like not treated fairly, not loved as much as I would love. Whatever is the case, the way that you're being is the way that you love yourself and that you treat yourself. Let's say, for example, that you have a huge trauma of abandonment. You probably will keep having patterns of being abandoned by every partner, always having the fear of being abandoned or losing the other person. And so what does the mirror do? It will show you the fact that you have that wound by making you feel the fear of losing somebody. Therefore, you will attract somebody that will be a perfect match to your wound to show that to you. So it's not the person that is evil that abandons you, it's you that have that wound within yourself that keeps attracting that same situation over and over to show you that you're having that wound within yourself. That is the feedback of the universe. That is the feedback of the mirror of why you're attracting that relationship. And that is true for every single thing, because this is literally the structure of how everything works. It's literally law of attraction. Everything that is within your consciousness is reflected within the external reality of the external mirror of how you are liked by people, how you're treated, how are you seen, how much money you make. For example, the money that you make is exactly the amount that you think you are worthy of. It's the amount that you believe that you can create for yourself. So the key here is to learn how to read the mirror. So there are basically 2 ways in which you can understand how to read the mirror and how to use it at your advantage. And then we will go in depth how to actually heal this karma. So the first way is triggers. Somebody that talks to you in a certain way, or a certain trauma that is brought up by somebody, it will trigger something that is already within you, that is being shown by you, and that is the mirror. So something really painful that comes from an external situation, whatever that is. The second way is simply, how is my external reality? Maybe I'm not triggered, there's nothing that disturbs me, but how do I feel about the life that I'm having, the house where I am, the money that I make, the people I'm surrounded by? Am I happy about these things? Both ways, the triggers and how your external reality is, can be treated, healed, in exactly the same way. Doesn't matter. When we're talking about triggers, when triggers manifest, we can basically act in 2 ways. The first way is when you forget that that is a mirror and that is actually the universe that is helping you to see what's within you. And for example, when somebody triggers you, hurts you, you blame them. Basically, you have an emotional react to the triggers and you blame the person that made you feel like that. And don't worry, I've done this my whole life. And my reactions are not so calm as one could say. I am an Aries and I'm Italian, so you can imagine how my reactions used to be. Or the second way you can respond, and this is where spiritual healing actually takes place, is when we say, okay, I understood that the triggers are actually a mirror for me, So what can I do about that? So instead of reacting, you come down and you say, what part of me is actually hurting? And therefore, you choose to go within and find that part of you that has been triggered and basically take the responsibility for the trigger and just heal it. And the choice is yours. How do you choose to react? Do you choose to blame the triggers, blame the external reality? Or are you choosing to take that as an opportunity to heal it once and for all so that it will never come to you anymore? And at the beginning, it can be really hard. Even when I took the choice to consistently heal myself instead of blaming others. Even though I already took my choice, sometimes I still forgot about the mirror, sometimes I still reacted, and that's okay because it's a practice that takes time, patience, and embodiment. But the shift happens when you actually see that the more you heal, the better you feel, the less you are triggered by things because you know how to take them now. And basically the temptation to blame others will wiped out because now you actually see results within you, within your reality. So you may be answering, are we still talking about karma here? What are we talking about? Everything. That is the karma that is being shown to you and you can decide what to do about it. That's the whole point, by reading the mirror of the situation that you have manifested. That comes from your consciousness. And another belief that there is that we have positive or negative karmas. But actually, karma is completely neutral. Law of attraction is completely neutral. It's simply a vibration of something that is within your consciousness, whether it's positive or negative. Positive or negative is the way that we perceive it. Obviously, negative karma, it's something that we feel like it hurts us. That's why it perceives as negative. And the reason for this is because this is the only way for you to see what you've chosen back then when you maybe don't remember. It's the only way for the universe to actually give you a feedback according to your choices. Without that, you would never know. You would never understand what's within your consciousness. You would never know what you have to heal. So it truly is for you. So when we think negative or positive karma, it's not really negative. It's helping you to clear those negative choices out of alignment that you've done past then. And the resistance to this may come from exactly from saying, but I didn't choose this. This is happening to me. Like I'm a victim in this. And of course, this is the way that we feel. But the truth is that every single thing is chosen by us. Every single thing that we experience, we have chosen it for a reason. And of course, it's totally fine if you don't remember. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this reality, Earth, in which we come. Because when we choose consciously for a specific reason. And so you say, why do we choose it? So when we are in spirit, we literally are perfect. We are created with everything for all eternity. But the soul wants to, and there's some that say when you're there, you kind of get bored because everything is so perfect and you want to experience something different. And that might be true, but I believe it's more about how does the soul understand what it really is, if not putting itself through challenges to see how it would respond. For example, let's say that the soul that is perfect is saying, okay, but I am perfect here. I have all the information in the world. I want to see what would happen if I forgot about the truth. How would I react if I put myself through challenges and obstacles and pains and trauma? Like, how would I react to that? Who would I be if I put myself into those situations? This is what the soul really want to find out. This is literally why we choose to incarnate on planets like Earth. And before coming here, you literally plan every single detail of not only this life where you are, but of the whole reincarnation cycle, because every life is connected to each other for a certain purpose. And you literally plan your incarnation cycle and you try out all those amazing ideas that you had, that you wanted to try out. So this is why we came here without memories, to experience our free will and challenge ourselves. Will I remember who I am in my lowest points? Will I remember the truth in my darkest moment, in my biggest challenges? So how do you break the cycle? How do you actually heal karma? The key is simply to be able to read the mirror and be really honest about that, because if you're not honest, there's no point. So the triggers basically point to that emotional part of you that right now is suffering, and basically we access that part of us that is hurting, that is creating a pattern. We heal that by simply connecting to it, asking what it needs to be loved and loving it until you feel peace in that place. And that is it. That's literally the healing. And that part, once that it's healed, it will not trigger you anymore. So that situation will not present itself in your life. So basically, the universe will always give you chances and opportunities to heal from that karma. Meaning that the reason why you experience maybe repeating situations, repeating cycles, is simply because every time you get an opportunity to choose differently. If maybe before you chose to ignore the triggers and to blame the rest of the world, that thing will continue to repeat until you say, oh, wait, I have to do something here. I have to heal it within myself. So maybe it will stop happening. So the universe will continue to give you the opportunity, because the universe doesn't really care if you want to repeat the lesson infinite times. You have infinite opportunities. That's why many souls remain stuck in many incarnation loops, because basically you're trying to learn a lesson and you don't learn it and you come back, do it again. And I've been there, like, I'm coming clean on this. I found myself having had more than 800 lives on Earth, and many of these were basically the same lives over and over because I wouldn't learn the lesson. And what I found myself when I started my healing journey was that I had this huge pressure about learning lessons and growing, because I was so terrified to repeat it again. And how do you break it for good, basically? There are two things that you have to consider, two things that are equally important. You cannot just act on one and ignore the other one. They always go together. Energetic healing and action. If you only work on your energetic healing, but then you continue to live the same life as before, it's like nothing happens. Like, you will continue to stay where you are, because where we live, it's a physical reality. It means that the language of the physical reality is through actions. That is how you tell the universe, I've learned my lesson, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm changing my choice. By acting. If you only act without doing the healing, it doesn't change anything. Because it's kind of like you're forcing yourself into a behavior without actually healing the pattern that has caused that behavior. If you combine healing and physical actions, that's when you truly proceed, you really clear your karma. And I'm telling you this because I've tried both things and I've seen feedback from both things, and I saw that things really change within you when you heal yourself enough to be able to take physical actions that will change yourself and your reality, and you will feel very different. I will give you a really clear example so that you understand. So I understood that I wanted to create YouTube videos, and when I actually started to work on that, when the time was right, I found myself really blocked. Blocked to the point that I would sit in front of the camera, I would set everything up, and then I couldn't speak. I literally couldn't speak. I was so blocked that I couldn't proceed. And I was really frustrated. And basically I was trying to act on something without doing the proper healing before. When I went in and I said, okay, where do I need to go? I found countless communication blockages. And many of these were about an incredible amount of past lives in which I basically either burned to the stake or like torture or like persecuted because I was speaking my truth. And so I have vowed many times I will never speak my truth to save myself, or because I was traumatized, I would decide never to speak my truth again. And there was a huge clearing of that until I felt like, okay, now I feel like I'm okay speaking, like I can actually do this. Then what happened? I was healed, I felt, okay, I'm ready. But I experienced other blockages in my reality regarding something else. It was financial blockages. The universe was giving me a feedback in my business what I had to do. It was showing me, you're still blocked. I was like, well, but I've healed my communication blockage, so what do I have to do? Then I realized, well, I have to act on the healing that I've done. Like, the healing will not be complete until I act differently and I change the energy of that thing. And so I had to do a YouTube video and post it. And the moment I posted the first YouTube video, that financial blockages that had manifested cleared out completely. So my point is that you can do all the healing that you want about something, but if you do not act on that in a different way, it's like it never happened. And this is how you heal yourself from those trauma, and you act differently to tell the universe, I've learned the lesson, I'm ready to move on. And this is literally how you heal any karma, which I'm sure now you understand that it's nothing more than law of attraction, the mirror, how you want to call it. I'm really curious to know what you think about this in the comments, if you have additional questions, because I'm really happy to deep dive it. So let me know what you think about this. And if you like contents like this, you really support me by liking and subscribing to the channel, because I post videos like this every single week. If you need any support at all with your healing journey, you find all my links in the description below as always. Thank you for watching.